Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is August the 13th, 2019. Strong hand. One Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. Value your wealth in Bitcoin. Offended by selling. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. Be a unique beast. Unconfiscatable. Holder of last resort. You better believe it's the world reserve cryptocurrency. Hello, my elite friends. Follow me on Twitter at TechBalt. TechBalt. Yeah, you got the strong hands. You guys are elite. First you get one Bitcoin, then two, then three, then 10, then 100. You know the deal, baby. It all starts with one Bitcoin. That's why this is the One Bitcoin Show. And it is all about just hanging on to it, being simple. You don't have to get complex with all those fancy sets and graphics and lose all your precious Bitcoin on ICOs and altcoins. Oh, we're going to talk about the people that FOMO'd on ICOs and altcoins in 1 second. All right, first of all, I linked to a classic clip from a show I did on March the 8th, 2016. I talk about men going their own way in that show, and I recommended that men going their own way should buy 10 Bitcoin and spend $4,100 total on 10 Bitcoin because Bitcoin was only $410 then. The link is below. Retweet that baby out. I talk about Vention on it. It's the first time I ever talked about Vention was March the 8th, 2016. It is a great video to look back on. And for all you guys that were going your own way that said, oh, it's a scam, it's a conspiracy, oh, doom is coming, Shemitah is coming. Yeah, it doesn't look too good for you right now if you watch that video and see the simple advice that I gave you back then when Bitcoin was $410. If you're still paranoid about it, I don't have any advice for you. I guess see a psychiatrist. I don't know. All right, pound that like button. But it is a great one to check out. And hey, follow me on Twitter. You get all of the Bitcoin Meister ecosystem over there. It is the hub. Okay, you get to see those old clips. You get to go to my podcast only shows. One of them is coming out really soon, audio only. Podcasts are getting really popular now. Again, I appreciate it. The people don't need to even see my face. That is beautiful. But yeah, sportsmeister.com. You can check out all the audio. And this is maybe you're listening right now. All my people in Sydney, Australia. Yeah, I'm going to see you October 17th to October 24th. We'll talk about that later. But I know you guys in Sydney are big fans of the podcast version of the show. Okay, moving on. Ego coin gone horribly, yet predictably wrong. Back when I was in Perth in July of 2017, that's the winter for all you Northern Hemisphere people. Yeah, it was the winter in Australia. And Nathan and I, otherwise, AKA the Fundy, we were at a get-together with some ladies. And the ladies were asking us about Veritaseum. Oh, it was the greatest thing, they said. It was the hottest and latest flavor of the month. And Reggie Middleton was behind it. And they said, oh, Reggie. And I said, well, is this thing even going to happen? I mean, and they're, oh, he's been talking about it for so long. I'm like, dudettes, just buy Bitcoin. Don't be complex. And I went through the whole spiel about how Bitcoin is the real thing, that this is an ICO thing, that a lot of people are getting behind this Veritaseum because of Reggie. Because people love to get behind these leaders in crypto, these famous people with these gimmicks. And you know, Reggie was all over social media. Reggie Middleton, you know, he was the dude. Total ego coin. But it was built all around this one personality. What was it really? No one really could explain exactly what it was. Oh well, today we found out the truth, didn't we? Or we really already knew the truth. I mean, the 20%ers did. Pound that freaking like button. And those ladies that were at the meal with us, I know they're not listening right now. They're still searching for the next Bitcoin. They haven't learned their lesson yet. Still searching for the next Reggie. Who knows? I wish them well. They were nice ladies. And that's just the way most people are going to always want to be in the next Bitcoin. They don't understand that Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. And this ICO thing was so predictable. And when these dudes, these fast talking guys that are cool, you know, so cool to hang with, egos, and some of them have good intentions, but they're centralized beyond compare. They're not Bitcoin. Who know what the heck are they even? And Nick Carter says, so the SEC finally plunged the dagger into one of the most comically stupid ICOs to ever exist, Veritaseum. We all knew it was coming. I was just too optimistic on the timing. It was on my list of coins that I thought would die in 2018. CoinDesk had an article on this if you want some mainstream about it. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission is seeking to freeze assets of Reggie Middleton, organizers of the $14.8 million Veritaseum initial coin offering. The block crypto goes on. I mean, this is all linked to below. SEC files emergency lawsuit against Veritaseum to stop spending millions of dollars in ICO money. The SEC alleges that Veritaseum knowingly misled investors about prior business success and investor demand for tokens. So again, there were people that were telling me, oh, Reggie's so smart. This has been so successful, blah, 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 blah. You know, I don't really care if the SEC is getting into it. I think people should learn the darn hard way. They already learned the darn hard way. And this, but at least this is bringing attention to one of the biggest ICOs that was out there, and definitely one of the biggest that revolved around one big ego. And that learn your lesson, people. Really learn your lesson. But you can also go back to my video, linked to below, from I believe it's September of 2017, the 13 to 16 minute mark. I should make a tweet clip of this, where I basically say everything I'm saying right now about Reggie, that it's an ego coin, and that people want to be cool. They think, oh, Reggie's cool, better buy this thing, and how the 80%ers were going to keep on buying it. Oh, so predictable. And yet, I mean, what was the price of Bitcoin back when I was in Perth? Less than $3,000. What was it when I was back in, when I made the video in Quebec City that I'm alluding to here? It was less than half of what it is right now, okay? But people were tossing their money into Veritaseum. It was the flavor of the month. That's why it's a flavor of the month. It only lasts a month, dude. It doesn't last. It's not long-term thinking like Bitcoin, okay? So I feel bad that people lost with Veritaseum. I warned them. You learn the hard way, dudes. Yeah, Reggie was quite a marketer there, wasn't he? And quite a marketer of himself. And that's perfect example of an ego coin. Pound that like button. If you're going to fall for the next one, I don't know what to say. I don't even know why you watch my show if you're going to fall for the next one. But I mean, 80% are going to do what they're going to do, dudes. You just got to keep it simple. No fancy sets or graphics. Just the Bitcoin. Strong hand. Bitcoin to the moon. All right. Pound that like button. And what is this here? Is True Story. True Story tweeted this out. Oh, this is very good. Bitcoin has long been a beacon of hope for many cypherpunks. But is Bitcoin just recreating the financial disparity we experience today? Oh my God, income inequality. Oh, Jesus, versus tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific time, not a shock, California, Silicon Valley. We dive into this and more in a live True Story debate. All right, so they're complaining instead of competing, okay? They're encouraging that mindset to complain instead of compete, because they're worried that the same financial disparity that we see in the world today is going to be happening in Bitcoin. How odd, because anyone can buy Bitcoin right now and prevent themselves from falling into that financial disparity, from being, from worrying about income inequality or net worth inequality, okay? You'll have plenty of darn net worth if you get into Bitcoin now, okay? So I did a little math for all you people out there that are worried about, what's this exact term here? The financial disparity we experience today in the world, okay? So the total wealth on the planet Earth, total wealth on the planet Earth is over $250 billion. That's over $250 trillion, okay? That's how much all the wealth is on Earth. All right. Imagine imagine if you could own 1/21 millionth of that wealth. You would 1/21 millionth of all the wealth on earth. That would be worth, what would that be worth in dollars? To own 1/21 millionth of $250 trillion. Oh, that would be worth $12 million. Your net worth would be $12 million if you could own 1/21 millionth of all the wealth on earth. So you have an opportunity today, and that would put you in the top 1% of net worth of all Americans, okay? Okay? Of all Americans, if you were to be worth $12 million. That would put you in the top 1% of all Americans. So, again, and so buying one Bitcoin buying one Bitcoin today is putting you in the, it's owning 1/21 million of all of the Bitcoin out there, all right? So on the world level of world disparity, you'll be in great shape. You'll be like a super rich American if today you buy one. So where's this disparity? And again, and if you only can afford 0.1 Bitcoin today, that would make you worth $1.2 million on the world scale, okay? If you owned 1/120 millionth, no, 1/210 millionth, excuse me, of all the wealth on earth, that would be $1.2 million, making you one of the 10, in terms of households in America, the top 10% of households in America, okay? So this income, but this is the thing, not everyone, people are hearing about Bitcoin. Some people are like, nah, I'd rather spend it on some Coca-Cola or a trip to Disney World or whatever. And that's their prerogative, okay? But again, you can spend today, what is it? What is Bitcoin worth right now? Like $11,000. So if you spent $1,100 on Bitcoin, that would be like owning, on a world scale, if you were to extrapolate that onto the world scale, you would be one of the 10% richest Americans by just buying 0.1 Bitcoin. So this is worrying about financial disparity. You have an opportunity right now in Bitcoin. You won't be one of the poor ones. You'll be one of the rich ones if you get 0.1 Bitcoin, okay? You will be in great shape. So you won't have to be jealous of anybody at all, okay? And are you going to still complain? Well, why do the Winklevi have 100,000 or whatever they are? How many do they own? Supposedly they own 160,000 Bitcoin or something like that. I mean, you could still complain about that, I guess, if you want to. That's not very healthy. But freedom is not fair, dudes. Freedom isn't fair. So, yeah, you can complain about it, or you can compete right now, get your 0.1 Bitcoin, get your 1 Bitcoin, and you will be in great financial shape if you can hang on to it, if you can put it away on your Trezor, if you really control your private key, okay? All right? And you get crypto dividends by holding it. I'm not even mentioning that additional wealth infusion that you get, okay? But indeed, freedom isn't fair. In this world, Bitcoin is a world of freedom. You're free to ignore it, but you're free to get into it too. So, and you're free to complain also and say that, oh, it's not fair. I didn't get into it. I didn't believe it was going to be worth that much. I didn't position myself in order to be one of to make sure that hardly anyone could have more Bitcoin than I could. All right, whatever. It's open to anyone. So this whole debate that they're going to have, I think it's ridiculous. I think it's virtue signaling. I think it's trying to fit in, trying to get rid of guilt people have because they found out about it early, supposedly, okay? You don't feel guilty. You're a 20%, you're smart, you did the research, and you're getting rewarded by getting your piece, your substantial piece of this limited supply truth machine, okay? Security truth machine. You're getting and again, it's still out. It's still reasonably priced in fiat to get 0.1 or to get 1. Okay. I mean, yeah, you could watch my old videos when you could get 10 for $4,100, and you can complain that you can't get in anymore, or you can go over the statistics that I just gave you and see what type of position you're going to be in Bitcoin, or owning a certain percentage of Bitcoin. What would it be like to own that same percentage of world wealth? All right. So I don't see what these people are worrying about, financial disparity. Again, compete, don't complain. The word, it's not, freedom is not fair. Yes, some people are never going to find out about it. Oh well, you found out about it. Act. You can talk the talk, walk the freaking walk, people. Be in motion. Pound that like button. All right. But again, people are free to have debates about that. If you waste your time on those debates instead of buying Bitcoin, then you get what you deserve. Pound that like button. You can feel good about yourself that you didn't become rich, if that makes you feel good. What kind of world is that? Again, my world is the world of success. If you want to be in the victim world, then I guess you can feel good that you didn't become rich, that you were so true that, yeah, I didn't want to get it. I didn't want to become rich. I'm hardcore. Yeah, hardcore, stupid, whatever you want to call it. So let's talk about someone who is hardcore, who's true, who Dan Tapiero, again. Now, he's got something to learn here. And beforehand, link to below is one of my most recent podcast-only episodes. You won't get it here, only in audio format, link to below. But going back to Dan Tapiero, he's only been on Twitter for 2 weeks. I found his Twitter. It is linked to below if you want to start following him. He is still learning it and stuff. He's definitely no expert on the entire cryptocurrency space. He's definitely tempted by some of this Ethereum stuff that's out there. No doubt about it. He's got an interesting perspective on it, and I'm going to share it in a second. But first of all, make sure you look at, you can send him info on Twitter if you want to. Tweet at him on Twitter. He's out there, and he said he's only been on it for 2 weeks, although it says he's been signed up longer, whatever. I'm glad he's on it. Again, he had the best video of the year in terms of non-technical talk of Bitcoin that I mentioned last week numerous times. But this is what he says about Ethereum, so it shows that not everyone is perfect, or maybe, just maybe, and to me it really doesn't matter, Ethereum is here to stay. And again, I don't care if Ethereum's here to stay or Ethereum's not here. I mean, there's so many people that love to rag on it. I mean, Tone was on my show on This Week in Bitcoin, linked to below on Friday, techbalt.com, TECHB, and he's still ripping on Ethereum, and there is a tremendous ecosystem built around it. There is no doubt about it. That there's a lot. I mean, I just met. I'm walking on the streets of Tel Aviv, or I was in synagogue. I met an Ethereum developer. I mean, there are a lot of people working on it. Again, and people are like, well, EOS could easily overtake Ethereum. No, I think Ethereum is the next Ethereum. I think it's got a head start. Whatever it's trying to do, the world computer, whatever it's trying to do, it's way ahead of the supposed people that could easily replicate it. I don't think it's that easy to replicate it. Tapiero has this to say: love charts and maps. One chart on one page of an entire, and it's an Ethereum ecosystem. Most of my macro investment contemporaries have never heard of any of these entities. Within 5 years, they will be building their own charts, owning many of the companies. It's still early for crypto. And then he goes on to say in another tweet, another great visual. How can such an Ethereum ecosystem be worth zero, as many on crypto Twitter suggest? So one thing to take out of this, he says, most of my macro investment contemporaries have never heard of these entities, and within 5 years, they will be building their own charts and owning many of these companies. So we can interpret this as that there are a lot of people with huge amounts of money, and I brought this up to Tone too, who maybe they don't know this crypto stuff at all, but they know it's the future. And they want to diversify for the sake of diversification. Ethereum is the number 2 coin. They know, or they think, that some of the companies are going to spike, so why not get into them? And if they get into them, they add to the pump. And with Caitlin Long said on my show that she said there will be funds with some of these top tier altcoins in them. Tone kind of doubted that. I'm more on Caitlin's side on that. And I think most of these Ethereum companies will fail, of course. Some will succeed. So if you're some rich billionaire type friend of Dan's, yeah, why not throw your money at that stuff? It's the smartest thing to do, which Dan mentioned on that famous interview, was just buy Bitcoin. Keep it simple. But again, some of these dudes are so freaking wealthy and have funds that need to diversify for the sake of diversification. What's the first thing they're going to diversify into? Something that's got a nice, huge, pretty chart they don't understand. It's a huge ecosystem. It's only second to Bitcoin's ecosystem. Well, better do it. So there's a little bit of an illusion in there, to the future. He's alluding to the future, that his guys, they can't learn all this stuff, okay? It's going to be overwhelming to them. They can't get to the simple bottom of it, that the simple bottom is Bitcoin, okay? It's that simple. Just hold Bitcoin instead of getting into Ethereum companies, okay? It is really that simple. But some of these guys want, 10,000x returns or whatever. And again, they don't get it. He still doesn't get it yet. So this is a little taste of the future, that Ethereum probably will pump again because of guys like this. And because of, they do a good job marketing themselves, Ethereum, to people like this. They always have. Again, this doesn't do anything, because I'm telling you the truth about what other people do. Not everyone can be a perfect 20%er. I, on the other hand, doesn't change my opinion of Bitcoin at all. I still say that I would never touch this Ethereum nonsense. I would never touch these companies. They're not, so much of it is nonsense on there. But there are interesting things on there. Ether Delta or whatever, where you trade I forget what it's even called. And I played around there once. It is kind of neat, some of the things you can do with Ethereum and the whole, able to make your own ICO or whatever. As insane as it became, it's kind of cool. And people are intrigued by that. There's a lot of different directions people can go with Ethereum. Compete, don't complain, I say, and I welcome their competition. I welcome them to build products. They're not building the ultimate security truth machine. That is already Bitcoin, and that's what you want to build around. But they can build their own products, and maybe they will come up with also, this is a technological golden age. And again, it's not just in cryptocurrency, it's in nanotechnology, it's health-related stuff, space exploration. So why can't it be in whatever the heck Ethereum does? I don't know. Good luck to them. Good luck to them. But Tapiero seems to have interest in it and seems to be implying that his buddies will get into it one day. And you can hate on that if you want to. And fine, hate on it, but just make sure you have Bitcoin when you're hating. I think that'll hate on it and not getting Bitcoin is a complete waste of your time. Hey, over on Steemit, I'm still posting these things live, not live, but Bitcoin Meister, I still am on Steemit. Still hoping for someone to one day build a social media platform that incorporates Bitcoin or cryptocurrency in some very productive way. Hey, all right, US, what is this? Oh, here's an Argentina tweet from Kruger. Contrary to the popular belief, Bitcoin awareness in Argentina is extremely low outside of the tech industry, where it is high. And the Argentine Bitcoin market is accordingly small. Argentina is a quasi-dollarized economy. As I pointed out, they very much love taking my dollars instead of me paying for my bus in pesos when I was down there. Argentines are obsessed with and hedge with the dollar. And he goes on to say that Bitcoin needs more marketing down there, that not enough people know about it. Okay, so the tech people are into Bitcoin. They're the elite holders down there. And I gotta say, if you respect the dollar more than the peso, okay, you're on the right track. But if you want to be the ultimate down there, dudes, the Bitcoin will protect your wealth much more so than the dollar. The dollar inflates too, just not as fast as the freaking peso, obviously. But he points out, and I saw this too with my own eyes in Buenos Aires, it's very easy to get a hell of dollars down there too. You just go up to a stand or whatever, you get dollars. It's not as easy to get Bitcoin. And again, not as many people know about Bitcoin. Doesn't mean that people won't be into it. Doesn't mean, it's so low Bitcoin buying down there right now. If 2% of the population of Argentina wakes up to Bitcoin, that would be huge for Bitcoin. It can make a tremendous difference. And the way things are plunging down there, it might market itself real soon. Who knows? But if you're in Argentina, and we've had guests from Argentina on here before, maybe they will return. Jorge, we spread the word. It's more people need to find out about it down there, but it's better than the dollar in terms of preserving your wealth. Again, here in the United States, the smart people, we're not preserving our wealth in dollars, we're preserving it in the best thing possible, Bitcoin. So Argentines, you don't have to settle for second best. And again, and it's just a very interesting insight into the mentality, the financial mentality of people of the world. They love the dollar. They love the dollar. And Argentina I said it's a serious country. It's gone through very serious economic problems. So a lot of 20%ers know what they're doing. It's got respect. And that's why the United States, the dollar isn't going anywhere, people. For those of you who think, because look at this, a major country, the smart hands, the smart heads, whatever you want to call them, are depending on the dollar. I mean, that says a lot about the dollar. But again, why settle for second best? Settle for the best. The best is Bitcoin. Pound that like button. What else do we have? That's it. Yeah, that is the end of the show, I believe. I'm just making sure. All right. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, Disrupt Meister. Remember, subscribe to the channel, like this video, share this video, check out the links below. Pound that like button, bang that bell button, click on the squares that you see out there now. Chat away, people. See you soon.